Alright, let's get started. For those of you on YouTube who are unfamiliar with what this is, it's essentially just a quick rundown of some of last month's events, or multiple months' events in this case, some of our plans for the future, and some current events. And this is, along with the server in its entirety, made completely possible by our exceptionally generous patron supporters, one of which has joined me today. If you'd like to join me in upcoming State of the Servers, or if you just like to support the server, feel free to check the link down below. So let's get right into it. On today's agenda, we have last month's events with mod issues, uptime check changes, and downtime due to Starry Pie 3K, which is always wonderful. Current events with player reset issues and a memory leak issue, and some plans for the future with player pruning and a new Starry Pie 3K fork. As usual, we'll close it out with some open discussion. So, mod issues. Probably irrelevant at this point, but stuff like the mod UI is dead, long live the mod UI. Manipulated UI is out, quick bar menus in. I have no idea why. Just modders decided they wanted to use a new thing, so we had to deal with that. And Birdfolk was removed. There were issues with the author doing some malicious actions with the mod, and we got to a point where we could no longer trust the mod author to a point where we could include the mod. So that was fun. Moving on, we've got the uptime check changes. This is a thing with starboundservers.net. They decided that too many people were cheesing the uptime counter, which we would totally never do, of course. And they decided to add mandatory R-query checks. And this is a thing that Starbound has. It's really easy to set up. And apparently it's really easy to write your own. So I did that. And it has sufficient support for all R-query commands, and it looks exactly like an empty server. So if you just happen to be running that instead of a real server, no one can really tell, which is wonderful. Last but not least, we've got the downtime due to Starry Pie 3K. This was this happened on the 17th of last month, or I guess last month. The server stayed down after a scheduled restart, which is never good. This is essentially just because Starry Pie 3K updated, and that update was bad, so the wrapper just instantly crashed whenever it was started. Can you guess what the fix for player database saving did? It broke player database loading, because of course it did. So we're currently locked to an older version of Starry Pie 3K. I'll have more about this on plans for the future. Into current events, we have player reset issues. Same thing as last time, it's still a thing, it still sucks. Basically, when a player is deleted to free up the username, bad stuff happens. Mainly, the old UUID retains ownership of the new player's ship, and all their old claims, stuff like that, even mails. So one of the lead developers, Meteor413, said that this is really an issue with every plugin that stores data per player, and that it will require something like a dedicated hook, that sort of thing. Basically means it's not going to be fixed anytime soon, unless I do something. So, plans for the future again. And the memory leak issues. I'm sure I hope you've seen the announcement about this, but 64-bit Windows clients seem to be having some problems. The exact cause is unknown, but we do have a few ideas. One of them comes from I think Silverfelin. They're very active in the directive modding community, and they say that this may be actually an issue with the directive system, which is not unsurprising. However, I also discovered a little issue in that this may also be caused by insanely large mod assets. Like if someone had a mod that was larger than the entire 100 plus other mods in the mod pack combined, and had that loaded into the mod pack. Might cause some problems, but that should be fixed now. If you're having issues, regardless of all of this, try the 32-bit client. If that doesn't work, there's not a whole lot we can do. You might want to try hitting up Chucklefish, sending an email to them, but they have a policy on not supporting modded clients at all, so best of luck. And plans for the future, we have player pruning. This is, again, something that we've been working on for a while, but it should be ready sometime this month. I'm just working out a few bugs. Basic idea is that normal players will be pruned after 3 months of inactivity, and registered players will be pruned after 5 months of inactivity. Anything higher than that won't be pruned at all. And this should help alleviate the player reset issues. So it'll have a override command, so if a player is deleted, we can just initiate pruning, and then everything should be freed up for the new username, ideally. And last but not least, the new StarryPie 3K fork. Since there have been some issues, we'll be moving to our own fork of StarryPie 3K. This will be pretty much just the main fork, except with I can control it. I can control what's being updated and still have the server automatically pull updates and be efficient. But also be able to add features more easily. They won't have to go through all the reviews and waiting for people to actually, work on the project. And I'll also be able to add hacky fixes that I would never commit to the actual project. Stuff like the old deadlock fix. So hopefully we can have the deadlocks somewhat taken care of soon, but I can't really make any guarantees on that front. And I think that's about it for today. So I guess we'll go into some open discussion. If anyone has anything they'd like to add, now's your time. If not, we can close it out. Okay. Well then, let's close it out. So, thank you for joining me, and to all the Patreon supporters, I seriously can't thank you guys enough. You make this entire thing possible. Like, it would have died probably a year, or I don't know if a year ago. It would have died a long time ago if it weren't for you guys. But yeah, links are down in the description if you'd like to check anything out. Until next time.